What's going on, everybody, and welcome on into the Garage Beers Podcast, episode number 229, brought to you live proudly here on the OBR streaming network. The Orange and Brown Report is the largest and oldest Cleveland Browns coverage network in all of Cleveland. So first and foremost, get yourself going by getting over to the OBR.com, hitting subscribe, and whether you're watching us on YouTube here, on Twitch here, hit like, hit subscribe. Look at my buddy Brad Ward already in the comments over there on YouTube saying, hit like and subscribe and giving the Doghouse a shout out. If you want to preview the Browns-Jaguars game, I just did an awesome interview on the Doghouse with Mike Dempsey, radio host down there in Jacksonville. So you'll go check that out. But shout out to you, Brad. Thanks for jumping in. Make sure you go follow the show on all the socials at The Garage Beers to keep up with everything going on Garage Beers. And we are glad that you are here. If you're joining us live tonight, the numbers already creeping up there pretty good. Appreciate you jumping in. If you are tuning in later on the podcast edition or watching us later, we love you. We appreciate your support. Joining you as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Joining me in the garage tonight are my co-hosts. First, over on the east side of Cleveland, find them online at Garage Beers Chad. It's Chad Meyer. What's up, Chad?
There should be football tonight.
Oh, I know.
Why are they teasing us? Like, why can't Maction just be Tuesday night all season?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like play your big games on Tuesday nights. There's no big deal. You know, Northern Illinois, go on up to Minnesota for your for your game, right? Kent State, go down to Neyland and play at Tennessee on Tuesday night. You're depriving us of football 6 days a week instead of 7, and it's kind of bullshit.
Especially because the MAC might be a powerhouse conference this year.
Yeah.
The MAC might be a powerhouse conference.
Yeah.
The Natty might run through the MAC this year. Not really, but it could.
Exactly.
Man, how about the start for the MAC? Man, do you know how I was... Let's just say my jeans got a little tight when I thought Bowling Green was going to beat Penn State.
God, that was amazing. Edge of my seat.
So sad they didn't hold on, but obviously the big win at Northern Illinois at Notre Dame. Just crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk college football later. But Chad, good to have you.
Hey,
and really good.
Hey, have you guys got tried out one of those VR headsets?
Yes,
it's incredible. I won one in my work raffle a couple weeks ago.
Which one did you get?
I put on the MetaQuest 3.
Oh, that's the best one.
Yeah,
Wow.
I put it on for the first time like 2 days ago. It blew my balls off. Like it was
Gross.
incredible.
Gross.
Yeah.
I know Chad's just walking up and down the street with that thing on, just scaring the neighbor kids and stuff. Just
you're damn right. Like I'm trying to reach out and feel things, and like, what is this guy doing?
Mm-hmm.
Chad, there's a great game called Super Hot, and you're like it's very cartoonish, but you're like a James Bond kind of guy.
Okay,
and you like open up at a scene where people are like shooting at you.
Yeah,
and time moves only when you move.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in.
Very
like
fun.
right now,
like,
this thing.
Matrix dodge, like bullets in it.
What?
Pick up new weapons. It's a good time.
What?
I love it.
Like this thing is brand new to me. So like anything you suggest, yeah, I'm in. Like I am in. I totally trust anything you guys say right now about that.
Hey, I love it. You heard his voice. It's great to have him on because we weren't sure if we were going to have him on tonight. But down in Nashville, Tennessee, find him online at Garage Beers Joe. It's Joey Whalen. What's up, Joe?
I don't want to like. The Guardians are going to go 500 in this road trip, and I'm just very happy about it.
Or better, Joe.
I just feel like the fact that we got one game against the Dodgers makes me very happy. And I'm okay with the other 2 losses. Totally fine. All good.
Well, we're taking the series in KC. I mean, just smashing it. They're smashing it right now.
That's huge.
They just gotta do what they gotta do against the White Sox. I'm feeling pretty damn good.
You can't lose against the White Sox.
Correct.
No.
That would be weird.
No.
It is Guardians magic number season. We're gonna talk about that later in the episode as well. I'm really excited. We got a lot of fun stuff. We're gonna get to kind of around the NFL kind of stuff. We're gonna get into the Guardians a little bit. I got a major bone to pick tonight, but we're gonna get to that. But first, we got a special guest. He's a return special guest. We're really excited to have him back. We caught him and he was like he was getting big last year. He's getting big, and now he's just everywhere. And this guy and his passion for the Cleveland Browns and what he does on game days and not on game days, and just a constant stream of content all over the internet. And he's becoming just one of the most widely known Cleveland Browns fans and content creators out there. And we're excited just to have him as a friend and to just sit here and talk Cleveland Browns football with him. We're going to bring him on right now. You know him, you love him. It's Chef Zae. Chef, welcome back in to the Garage Beers podcast.
Happy to be back. Appreciate the warm welcome as always. How you boys doing?
Man, we're
okay. Just okay.
We've been better.
We could be a lot better if we're talking about a victory. Instead, we have to go over a loss. So,
It'd be better if we were talking about a competitive football game, even just like any kind of fun. It
was bad. When Bob doesn't get hit, it's not a very good day, because usually everyone thinks he gets beat up on the bad days, but no, he usually gets beat up on the good days. So there wasn't much beating up of Bob this weekend.
You made your halftime video, and I think one of my favorite Bob scenes that happens is when you're really mad, you just shake Bob in the camera. You just shake his ass in the camera. It's shaking Bob syndrome, and he took a heavy dose of it on Sunday.
He might have got thrown out of the RV if that 66-yarder would have stayed good. Like, that would have been just our luck. 66 yards with 9 seconds to go. Like, give me a break.
At Brown Stadium.
Oh,
it ended up being it went back to like 71.
Yeah, right? That's when they decided to run it or kick it, or they
I would have loved to
it
see
at that point.
Just do it. Set a
record.
Why not?
It would have went in with our luck.
It sure would have.
Yeah. Like it would have hit the crossbar and then bounced up twice and then just bounced over, something like that. Mm-hmm. Something very Brownsy.
1,000%. It would have come up short. Denzel Ward would have fielded it, fumbled it on the return, and they would have run it for a touchdown. We can come up with all of it. We can come up with all of it. Zae, listen, we're going to talk about the Browns. We're going to talk about this game against the Cowboys, and then we're going to try to get some positive vibes going for this game coming up against Jacksonville. But let's catch up for a minute, man, because some exciting stuff going on. Obviously, your stuff keeps blowing up, but you've talked about it, I think, ever since I followed you, and you made good. You made good on something. You made a dream come true, I believe. Mm-hmm. The crock pot on wheels is a thing. You've been taking it around. You were down in the Muni lot on Sunday doing your stuff, your live streams from there. So, man, big stuff. How's the crock pot on wheels doing?
It's crazy, because it's like this is the first time in my content creating journey where like it kind of feels like a full-time job. I've been so busy ever since I've gotten the RV, like more so kind of like over preparing for certain things, where like gotta go back to Sunday. It was kind of a disaster in a sense. Like my device that I was using, I got a new device. The cord wasn't holding charge. And I mean, about every technical problem that you can go through as a content creator probably happened. So it wasn't as, what I would have liked it in that sense, but it's been crazy to, we sit here last year in this room. As you can see, it doesn't look the same. There's stuff off the walls. We had to put it in the RV now, but it's been cool. The support's been, through the roof as always. And to have that first little taste of the Muni, get down there 25 hours before and get to do that whole vibe and then have to wait not till the 1:00 game, but the 4:25 game. I power napped at like 3:30, nice. Like for like 10, 15 minutes I was up for like 35 hours straight at that point. So it was crazy. It was like a little kid on Christmas, but it's been a dream come true for real. So, and we're going to Jacksonville next week, so it's going to be even crazier.
Sweet.
Oh yeah. What kind of gas mileage you get on that thing?
Well, we're not taking the RV, so I found really cheap seats, front row in the end zone, one section 125. So you may see all I'm saying is this: if Jerome Ford scores, you're gonna see your boy on TV.
When Jerome Ford scores, when he scores.
Wait, first row in the end zone, really cheap?
Oh, what happened? You got muted. Zae.
Good?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, so really cheap. Like, usually front row seats, you're thinking, what, $750 a pop?
Yeah.
Or something like that. No, we got it for $450 out the door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I had to lie and say I was a Jaguars fan because I didn't want to take the chance of them denying me for, being a Browns fan, trying to trying to get it. But tickets are secured now, so we can let the cat out of the box.
I love it, man. Well, hey, listen, before we dive into the Browns and the Cowboys and the Jags and all that stuff, did you bring a beverage with you tonight?
Yeah, so I was looking, I'm not a big drinker. I got a Twisted Tea, but I was like, you know what, that may not be up to par. So I was like, let's go ahead and get a little small batch Tennessee, a little
little apple pie,
little moonshine stuff,
Okay.
apple pie.
Zae.
Shit.
So
that's a garage beer's first.
Yeah, where were we at?
Yeah.
We were at I forgot where we went. We went on vacation. I think it was Wisconsin Dells. And they had a little outdoor mall, and it was a whiskey shop, and they had a little selection, 5 for whatever. So I grabbed a bunch, and I saved the apple pie for last because apple pie moonshine.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
S tier,
it's a classic.
It's S tier.
Yeah, an absolute Wisconsin classic.
It's as American as apple pie moonshine.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, shout out for the first showing of moonshine on the Garage Beers podcast. Joe, what about you? What's your garage beer of the week this week?
I'm going. I don't know. This is bourbon or whiskey. I don't know. It's a sick bottle though. It's Cooperstown Distillery.
Oh wow. Oh, it is cool.
From the Hall of Fame.
From the Hall of Fame. The bottom's a diamond, a basable diamond.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, that is sick.
Super sick bottle. I think hopefully this is the last pour out of it though, because it wasn't that good.
I was really enjoying.
Well, you bought it for the bottle.
Bought it for the bottle. It's like a very light colored, whatever this is. It's fine. I would just honestly throw some Coke in this, but we're gonna just do it straight right now.
I was hoping you were just gonna drink it out of that bottle. It was gonna be awesome.
I'd really have to go back on it. That's not the best for a video.
All right. So far we got moonshine and whiskey on the Garage Beers podcast. Chad, what are you drinking?
I dug into the wife's Fatheads variety pack tonight, and I came out with Wicked Willie's IPA.
Oh,
just voluntarily drinking an IPA.
Yeah. Well, that's because
coming around, everybody. He's
all that's
around.
left.
How are you?
It's all that's left in the fridge.
Coming around.
It's disgusting. It's super hoppy and it's very bitter and it's very piney and it's gross. But I'm gonna power through it because I'm a soldier.
I feel like we're killing it with Garage Beers tonight. Joe has a gross whiskey. Chad hates his beer. I know the moonshine's delicious.
Yes, I wish it would have been a little better, but
okay,
it's good. It's good.
Right. Quantity small though. Quantity small.
All right.
Quantity small.
Come for the mediocre drink. Stay for the flaming hot Browns content.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Hey, just real quick in the comments. I love Drew, man. Drew and Brick City. Just 2 handfuls of Bush. Just 2 handfuls of Bush. Enjoy that. Jeff says that an IPA is just a white suburban dad beer. Fair. I can't agree.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm gonna go rock climbing after this. Yeah.
I'm back on my pumpkin shit this week, boys, and I'm back down to one of my favorite breweries out of Miami. It is Tripping Animals, the raccoon with the red eyes and the pumpkins all around. This is the Pumpkin Delish. It's a brown ale brewed with pumpkin and spices, and it looks like that. It's dark. It is delicious. I don't have a mediocre one tonight. This is great.
10W30.
Pretty much. So those are our garage beers / drinks of the week. Keep putting yours in the comments or let us know what you're drinking. Or if you have any suggestions, get on the social, on the socials and let us know. But all right, boys, we're here with Chef Zae, and you're coming out with all the content in the world. You're doing Browns videos every day. But let's start with week 1 and let's just get over this, guys. Let's come together as a group of men and get over what the hell we saw week 1 with the Cleveland Browns, because we fired up the hype train. We fired it up. We had it raring to go. It was about as in tune as the crock pot on wheels. The hype train was ready to go. And it's a home game. The place was electric. I got to say, Cleveland Browns Stadium on TV sounded electric for the first half of that game. And the Browns come out. Great defensive stand to start the game. Then they look pretty good offensively. They kick a field goal on their first offensive possession. And then it just sucked. Everything sucked. It was just straight kicks to the nuts over and over and over and over again from there. Zae, man, you watch every second of every game. You go live on your live stream every second of every game, man. That couldn't have gone any worse.
I mean, Yeah, it couldn't have gone any worse. You lose David Njoku, that's terrible. Deshaun Watson threw the ball 45 times and only has 169 yards. He was hit 3,000 times.
The new NFL record.
I mean, hey, there is a silver lining. Bojorquez is a weapon from hell. It is such a. I mean, how nice is it to know that you can be backed up in your 10-yard line and punt that thing to the other 20? Like that's just it's when we get clicking, that's going to be a cheat code to have. But honestly, yeah, that I'm not worried about the defense as much, but the one thing coming out of training camp that I was most worried about, because I went to, I believe, 4 camps this year, and every one that I went to, it was just like, okay, like where's the shiny new toy that you said we're gonna get? And I saw the same exact thing that we saw on Sunday. Check down passes, nothing deep. If it was deep, it was either overthrown or just not caught or whatever the case may be. But it was a copy and paste from training camp. And that's what scared me most because we didn't see any shots at camp, except for the minor clips that you may have saw here and there. But as far as every down and going through the reps and what you may expect into the offseason, you practice how you play. And that's what I saw in training camp. So hopefully they got something up their sleeve and they can get their head out of their ass and fix it for this week. But if they're going to continue to run the same vanilla offense, man, it's going to be a long Sunday each and every week.
I think that was overly noticeable, boys. We talked about it on the post-game show here. I think it was overly noticeable. I don't know that I remember a lot, excuse me, a lot of games where I thought Kevin Stefanski was timid, it's been a nice departure under Stefanski and his normal offense of we usually don't on 3rd down and 9 throw for 3 yards. We usually don't on 3rd and 6 do a handoff for 2 yards. And this game we were back at that. It's like 20 years of trauma has just returned. And I don't know that I quite understand the game plan and the check down play calls. And I don't know whether it was, again, I don't know that it's all play calls, and I don't know whether Deshaun didn't maybe get some happy feet out there and just start checking the ball down because he kept getting hit over and over and over again. But like, it just felt it felt like a preseason game. It felt like it was just a vanilla preseason game, and Dallas just ate him up.
Okay. How much of it is Kevin and how much of it is it also Deshaun though? Right? Because I'm not going to bring up the Flacco thing and like saying he should be back. I'm not going to bring up PJ Walker. I'm not going to bring up all that. But when they were in this same offense, they were able to push the ball downfield. I just when in the games I've seen Deshaun, he just doesn't like his confidence is just gone. Like he feels broken, guys. He feels broken to me.
Do you remember when I came on last time? I don't remember. Was I completely on board with Stefanski at that point, or was I still?
No, you were like fire Stefanski.
Okay, right. So do you remember what my biggest gripe was between the whole thing? Like what I always was running with? And I put it to bed because we were ultimately winning games. But I go back to ever since Deshaun Watson has gotten here, Kevin Stefanski and Watson just aren't a match. The chemistry has never been there. You can go back to when Deshaun Watson finally threw a touchdown and he goes over to the sideline. And it's just like that weird friendship couple that's like, we may be cool, but it's like the match just isn't there. It's not a compatibility fit. You know what I mean? And I think it's business as usual. These are professionals at their job. They say the right things in the media, obviously. It's not like Watson's coming out saying he hates them, but I'm a people person guy, man. I like to read the vibes and I like to see what people are saying. There's just a disconnect between coach and the quarterback. And you ask how much of it is between the both. That's the main problem right now because we've seen Jacoby Brissett flourish in this offense. We've seen Joe Flacco come in off the couch and not have a preseason and be 8, 9, 10 weeks into the season and throw for 400 yards in 5 games. Like that's a leadership and your quarterback just aren't on the same page. And until they can somehow figure out to go to work and handle this, and then, if they don't want to like each other off the field, so be it. But it's affecting us in every facet of the game because there's no way we should have looked unprepared as we did. And you throw the ball 45 times. Like, what are we doing?
you literally know what you're getting from every single other position on this football team, except for the most important one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like and it's they got it. Like you said, they got to figure it out. But I don't know how much time do you give this before you pull the plug on this? I'm not saying it's any earlier, but like if we see the same thing these next 4 weeks, these next 4 winnable games, I don't see any reason you don't go to Jameis. I just don't.
You're seeing it unfold. The out is already in play. As much as we don't like it, I mean, ultimately we're talking conspiracy here when it's all said and done, but the out is in motion. If Deshaun Watson does not get his act together, this allegation will turn into a suspension and the Browns will get out of this. Is the business aspect of the NFL. Us as regular fans will never understand it. We will never know the dirty secrets that go on behind closed doors. But this is the real business stuff when you talk about money as big as Deshaun Watson is getting. $230 million guarantee. You think these guys don't have a way out of it? So this is go figure it out. And if we don't, the pressure is going to continue to get hot in the kitchen.
Now, listen, I don't want to make this a doom and gloom conversation about the Cleveland Browns because it is 1 week. It is, I mean, I have to say, CeeDee Lamb looks like the best wide receiver in football. Like he was so
Credit Greg Newsome though. Newsome though.
Yeah, but I mean, CD is just there's a lot of good wide receivers in the game, Tyreek and Justin Jefferson and all. CD might be the top of the bunch right now. He's just formidable. He's unbelievable. It's a good Dallas Cowboys football team. And they got smacked. A lot of people brought up the fact that in 2020 to start the year, the Browns lost to the Ravens like, I don't know, was it like 38-9 or something like that. And then they went on to win a bunch of games and make the playoffs and all that stuff. So you don't want to overreact. And one thing I will say, in the Deshaun Watson era with the Browns, it feels like when he's had games like this, which is far too often for a guy that's supposed to be a franchise quarterback, when he's had games like this, he does feel like one thing where it feels like he's symbiotic with Kevin Stefanski is that they're pretty good bounce back players. Deshaun has had really shitty games. Last year, they all had a shitty game after they watched Nick Chubb's knee explode against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They all flattened out and played terrible. The next game, Deshaun came out and played really well against what was supposed to be a pretty darn good Tennessee Titans defense, which wound up being a good Tennessee Titans defense. It feels like when we've seen this, they've been able to come back. Kevin Stefanski doesn't lose a lot of back-to-back games in his career. So when we look at moving away from this Dallas game, I know it feels doom and gloom. I know you just got your ass kicked at home on the opener. And I know a lot of the pissed off people are because you looked flat in the game, but there is a little bit of reason for hope. There's too much uncertainty, but there's reason for hope moving into this game against Jacksonville that, okay, you got punched in the mouth. You got to be ready to come back. These guys have shown that they usually do that. So I have a little bit of hope in me for the Browns for this week. I got a little bit of hope.
I mean, you would think we're sitting here talking about it's week 12 and like we need to win this game desperately. Like, I mean, I'm not panicked at all. I mean, I'm just frustrated and disappointed as any fan should be. That's why it's like I'm listening to every comment. Like, you want to say fire Stefanski. You want to say get rid of Watson. You want to – the only thing I'm not listening and what we need to cut out is this whole Baker Mayfield crap.
Shit.
We need to put that to bed. That is the most down bad thing that we can do as fans. And I don't know if they think it's cool. I talked about this on lives that I've done, but it's embarrassing. It's like looking at an ex and being like, oh my God, their life is so good. They've got kids. They're winning. They look good. I wish we had it back. We did you wrong, but I want you back. So, like, it's embarrassing. It's down bad. Like, get over it. And the other thing that we need to put to bed, guys, number one, you said that the Browns fans showed out. I got multiple reports from down in the Muni lot that the Here We Go Cowboys chant was the loudest thing that surfaced in that stadium. They said it was unbelievable how loud that their crowds were. But it doesn't help when your fans are chanting, "We want Flacco" halfway through the game. That is embarrassing as well. What you want to go through 16 more weeks of just torturing yourself with something that's never going to happen? Put it to bed.
Do people not remember that Joe Flacco? I don't want to say anything bad about Joe Flacco because he did some awesome things for the Browns and really helped to save the season last year. Do people not remember he was on pace? If he played a full season, he would have thrown 50 interceptions.
It was bad.
Are we forgetting? He had some awesome moments, and he was on pace to throw 50 interceptions. Can we stop this crap? Why are we acting like that dude came in and played like prime Tom Brady?
Because he threw for 400 yards, 300 yards 4 times in such a short span, and we haven't seen anything like that. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But there is a reason why he didn't come back on this team, and you guys displayed it. Week 1, you chanted for this guy halfway through. I mean, you can't even get to the clock strike 0 before you guys embarrass us like this. There's a reason why the Browns fans get clowned around nationally, because we do dumb stuff like this and day in and day out.
You know what would prevent all of this, guys?
Winning.
You know what would prevent all of this?
Deshaun not being shitty.
Winning.
Exactly. Deshaun, out of the 14 games he's played, has had 2-3 games. If Deshaun, if forget the off the field stuff, if Deshaun proved that he has been worth his salt in this $230 million contract so far throughout his tenure in a Browns uniform, nobody would be saying anything about this at all. He has not lived up to what the Browns thought he would be. And I don't blame the franchise for that. They took a swing on a guy who before all of this stuff happened, before they traded for him, was an elite quarterback. And so far, it's missed. They've missed on the swing. And Browns fans are going to cling on to anything positive that happened, like outside of this. They're going to attack his character. They're going to attack him on the football field when he's done on the football field. The best way for him to solve this is to turn this around in the next 4 weeks, to get rid of all of that noise.
Yeah, but he'll never see. Here's the thing, though. Deshaun Watson is ultimately in a lose-lose situation here. You just have to tune the noise out and go out there and play. Whether you play good or not, Deshaun Watson could throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns with no interceptions, and we'll be sitting here saying, well, it's because it was against Jacksonville. Or, well, I need to see it at least more than 1 week now. And then there will always be an altering of the goalpost whenever we talk about Deshaun Watson. So if you're Deshaun Watson, you honestly, like we talked about this you have to put the social media stuff away. For the season, at least, put it away and get your head out of it, because you just I didn't know that he not only did he lose his dad, but apparently he only seen his dad like 5 times or something like that. He lost a best friend within the same week as well. I didn't know that. Like, he lost multiple people in his life, and I'm sure his friend was probably closer than his dad. We're talking about a legitimate thing here. People call off work for weeks when they lose a close relative or a friend like that. So is it an excuse? Yeah, I'm not for the excuses, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's week freaking 1.
Well, sure, you can empathize with that. You can empathize with that for sure. But much like I'm not saying this is the same thing, but much like Baker choosing to play through his injury, if you decide to go out there, if you decide to suit up and go out there,
you got to perform.
I don't care about your feelings until after the game.
And that's why Jerome Ford had the interview, and he talked about the resilience and the toughness of it. It's like everyone keeps saying, oh, he's only doing it for the money. Were we watching the same game? Because would you want to continue to get hit as many times as Deshaun Watson was out there? He was getting destroyed every chance he had. And a guy that's guaranteed money is pulling himself when you're down 27, with a whole quarter to go, and, you have no shot at coming back.
Yeah, I think a good point. I think to go back to your point about like the chance and stuff. Listen, I think Wyatt Teller said it, or not Wyatt Teller. Who was? Oh, Myles Garrett. It was Myles that said it best. It's one thing. They deserved every boo they got. I'm fine with the boos. Let the boos rain down. It was brutal. It was terrible. I'm with you though, Zay. Like Joe Flacco chance, the dude plays for Indianapolis.
Yeah,
100%. Plays on a different team. What are we doing?
I 100%
plays for a different team.
Boys, right. I totally agree with that. But none of this is going to go away until he starts performing consistently. Not saying he has to throw for 400 yards, but until he starts performing on a more consistent basis, none of this is going to go away.
It'd be really cool to see a pass like get to the receiver not on a hop.
Or in the stands.
Yeah. Like a 15-yard square in, maybe, I don't know, hit him in the chest standing.
Sitting ground balls.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
He did complete a deep ball to CeeDee Lamb on the sideline.
So
we got that going for us. Listen, he's got to be better. The team's got to be better. You do have to laugh about it a little bit because it's football and it ain't that serious. But you got to laugh about it, and they move on. And you got a chance. This is a Jacksonville team. Like, come on. It's the same thing we saw last year. Everybody talks about, oh, that was close last year. It wasn't really close last year. If you remember that game, Jacksonville scored late. We all panicked because we know how bad they are at recovering onside kicks. But that game was not nearly as close as it seems. So you go down to Jacksonville. This whole conversation about the Browns, and that's how up and down a season can go. This whole conversation about the Browns goes very differently, and we're all talking very differently if you go down to Jacksonville and smack them in the mouth and you get a win week 2. And now you're 1-1 going into a real soft part of the schedule. And they've got everything they need to do that. They've got everything they need.
I just don't understand why people sit here and act like a lot of people didn't have this game as a L anyway.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure we all looked at this and, I had us going 13-4. A part of that is me being a content creator, but part of me, gave valid reason as to why that could happen. But I think a realistic Browns fan could sit here and be like, yeah, as much as I want to give us the win at home and be that homer, I could see us losing this game. But the next 4, oh no, we have to be dominant. And that's the one thing that I think this team will do. Under the Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry era, these guys have responded tremendously whenever dumb stuff like this has happened. Like you said, we don't lose too many back-to-back games in a row. This defense, the defense play. Let me just give you a little bit of, refresher for people at home. This defense held Dallas to, after that touchdown,
Yes.
they went punt. Then the offense comes out and goes 3 plays, 7 yards for 2 minutes. The defense comes back out there, gets a punt, 3 minutes and 35 seconds from Dallas. Our offense goes 3 plays, -5 yards for 1:10. They get another punt from Dallas, 3 plays, 2 yards, a 3 and out. And guess what we do? We go 3 plays, 8 yards for 1:45. And then guess what happens? They ultimately score a touchdown. And then that next thing led to a next. So eventually the defense is going to break. If you can't go out there and have a drive longer than 2 freaking minutes, give our defense a break.
I think this is a good point right here from chat username in the comments. It's one thing if you're focused, you go out and play a good game and you lose. It's another if you're 100% dysfunctional and you lose. And specifically offensively, I know every time we talk about penalties, everybody screams about every time we talk about penalties, people scream about coaching. The coaches aren't out there telling DeJuan Jones to false start.
Here's my thing with that, though. The preparation starts with coaching, though.
Sure.
When you talk the leader, he's the leader of this team. We watched a Pittsburgh Steelers team win a game without scoring a touchdown. How do we sit here week in and week out and Steelers find ways to win? You can't tell me coaching doesn't play a factor because they've had a guy doing it for 20 plus years who's never gone under 500. There has to be some method to his madness that works. And here's what I'll say to that. Kevin Stefanski's thing isn't the leading of men. It's the offensive capability and the mind that he has. And when it doesn't work, your team's not going to be bought in. And that's when it feels disconnected because we haven't seen it with Watson yet. We've seen it with Flacco, and that's fresh in these boys' mind. Like, they went from seeing 400 plus yards, Amari Cooper getting 200. When have we ever seen Amari Cooper look like a diva receiver on the field? We saw him low-key pouting.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. So, like, there's something in the locker room that needs to get situated, and they need to do it fast because Jacksonville is not going to care, because if we come out the same way that we did, they're going to punch us in the mouth too.
Right. And that's why I just these next 4 weeks, these next 4 weeks, if something doesn't change, you got to pull the plug. You have to pull the plug on this. You cannot afford to wait that long in a season. In a season with this talented roster, you cannot afford to wait that long.
Yeah,
because I'll tell you what, in 4 weeks, if he's not a different quarterback, I'm going to go scorched earth on this situation.
In 4 weeks, if he's not a different quarterback, the alleged case will be in a suspense. I'm telling you, this is the way out.
Listen, I hope you're if in 4 weeks that's the case, I hope you're right. If in 4 weeks this is the case, I hope you're right.
All right, doom and gloom. All right, let's get off the doom and gloom because we all love the Browns. We want to see them win. And listen, you said it. We've all said it. It's 1 week. Doesn't mean the season's over. I know Chad had him at 17-0. Unfortunately, we are not going to hit that.
Listen, hey, we're on pace to go 16-1. Okay,
You're damn right we are. You're damn right. There's wins to come. So real quick, boys, let's talk about this Jacksonville game. It's a pretty good Jacksonville defense, but nothing like what the Browns saw against Dallas. Pretty decent defensive line. The secondary is very questionable. The linebackers are very questionable for Jacksonville. Their offensive line is very questionable. Again, they were not great in the game against Miami. But again, it's a Jacksonville team. I love their rookie wide receiver, Brian Thomas. Bless you.
Thank you.
There are some weapons. I like the running backs. They got some weapons. And Trevor Lawrence is a guy that plays football. So how are they going to go in? Zay, you're going to be down there. You got your boy Jerome Ford. The Browns got to figure out a way to run the ball. I don't know why we didn't see Deontay Foreman to play with Jerome Ford at all. But the Browns got to figure out a way to run the football. And Deshaun's got to be better. How are they going to do it in this game?
Where's the RPO? Like Deshaun Watson, clearly you got it on camera. Michael Parsons, dude, he's so hard to tackle. Well, if he's so hard to tackle, maybe we should do what he wants to do and run with him or give him the option to hand it off or run. Where's the RPO? We have more than enough weapons, but that's besides the point. What do we got to do? Honestly, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and realize that we got our ass kicked and play our game of football. Like, I don't think there's any X's or O's or you can go try to find some X factors and do all this cute stuff. This is one of those games where you throw the X's and O's out. And this is about, we got to go old school. This is about your manhood. This is about your integrity. This is about making a statement. Do you want to come out here and barely win this game and have these questions continue to circle around? Because as much as these guys say we don't pay attention to the media, I can guarantee you each and one of these guys hear and see all of the noise because we see it. We see the retweets. We see how much they engage into it. This is one of those games where they need to come out. Your leader, Kevin Stefanski, needs to lead these men into a direction, which is the battlefield, and go out here and rip these dudes' hearts out. Defense needs to come out, make a statement, 3 and out. Put some points up on the board. Make it do what the Baltimore Ravens would do if Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed was on that side of the ball. And if y'all wasn't going to do something on the offense, you know the defense was going to get some points up on the board or create turnover somehow. So bump it. We don't need the offense to do our thing. The defense has enough firepower to go out there and do that. So that's what needs to happen. How much do y'all want this burden to go away? Because y'all can control it right now.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. They should just play that. They should just play that in the locker room. The burden goes away. That should be the theme of the damn season. Zay, how loud are you going to be down there in Jacksonville?
I don't know. I haven't sat down and mapped out my content yet because I need to prepare myself to get some stuff and get an episode out. But if I'm able to go live, I'm almost thinking about doing some kind of live thing while I'm down there. But if I can't, I'm kind of thinking, do I want to drink a little bit? Do I want to get on that side? Like there's some factors that
you're in Jacksonville. Drink a little bit. It's not the best town.
I know, but so whenever I go to a game, it's not like the same as when I'm watching it. I miss certain things. I'm not as in like, it doesn't feel like I process it as well as I do. So I'll probably be recording and stuff, but I'm going to be turned up, especially as soon as that offense. And matter of fact, let them get up on our red zone at like the 2-yard line. And then JOK is just, hovering around. Myles Garrett's getting ready to do something. And then they just like punch the ball out and then just come celebrate with me with the defense. So we can, because I'm bringing the get off the field flag. So every time a 4th down happens, that bad boy is going to be right up on the screen. So hopefully they get a glimpse of that thing.
Zay, man, this has been awesome. It's great having you on. It's great just catching up with you. Again, really happy for everything you got going on. The content's blowing up. The crock pot on wheels. Man, if you're going down to Browns games and you're hitting the Muni lot, you heard him. He's going to show up on Saturday at about 2 p.m. He's going to have that thing in line for the Muni lot. And you'll be able to catch him at some away. You're going to some away games as well. Obviously Jacksonville, but I know you've talked about Vegas. So, man, keep killing it with the content. Congratulations on everything. And make sure you get over there and you follow Chef Zae, TikTok and Twitter and everything. We appreciate you for coming on, talking a little Browns with us. And man, let's all get in a better mood for next week. Let's all get in a better mood. Let's beat up Bob. Beat up Bob this week.
I just need like, well, Bob's gonna get a freaking week off. Isn't that unreal? Dude gets a win and he gets a week off.
Who's at home? Who's at home with you? Can you have like, I don't know, like your wife punch Bob and like record that?
She's coming with me. She's coming with me. So and
have
Bob's
like a buddy come
RV.
over. Something,
you got a neighbor,
come on, man.
You got a neighbor that can come slap Bob around real quick.
Yeah, Bob shouldn't be left standing. Come on.
I'm almost thinking about trying to hit up one of the Duvals and I know they got like a Bob mannequin down there and doing some kind of spoof where be like, let's do some content where Bob miraculously pops up in Jacksonville and we do something. But I have to think of something creative with that.
Just, you know what we want to do? We want to make Bob scared as hell for when you get back because the beating's on its way. The beating's going to get to him. It just might be a little delayed.
He know this season is great. He just embraced. He's been enjoying his little 45 to whatever victory, and he's been running the wave ever since. I can't stand his ass.
No, go fuck yourself, Bob.
Yeah, right. That's what he's doing now. That's why he's not
here. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on. Go Browns. Have fun down there in Jacksonville and keep up all the good work.
Appreciate you for having me, boys.
That's Chef Zae, one of the great follows, one of the great Browns friends of ours. And again, just an entertaining dude, an entertaining content creator, and somebody really putting all the work in to cover the Browns. So shout out to Chef Zae. Make sure you go follow him. Joe's back. Boys, the one thing he brought up, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I got to tell you, man, I've never experienced anything like what has been going on the last 2 days. I always keep it pretty neutral as far as like I don't spread hate about Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson, or I'm not hateful towards them. I'm just pretty honest about my takes when I go on, which is probably why I don't get it like a billion people following, because it's just honest takes. But like I posted because there's this big ass post about like Baker Mayfield versus Deshaun Watson, and look what Baker did week 1 versus look what Deshaun did week 1, and it came from one of the big media websites. I don't remember
Bleacher Report.
It was Bleacher Report.
Yep.
Guys, I'm so sick and tired of the Baker thing. So I just put out a thing that said, "Stop being dumb." Stop being dumb.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask people, though.
Baker Mayfield wasn't cutting it in Cleveland. This is what I said. Actually, where's the damn exact post? Hold on. I said, "Stop being stupid." Baker wasn't turning into what he was in week 1 in Cleveland. He arrived at his career gut check when 3 teams in 2 years didn't want him. And I know people yell at me because the Rams could have, whatever. All right.
They did.
2 teams in 2 years. He didn't sign with the Rams. They could have kept him as a backup because let's not act like everybody thought he was going to be a starter. I gave him credit. I said he matured. He turned it around, and that's great to see. Stop acting like this was going to happen here in Cleveland. That was my post. No hate to Baker. I'm glad to see that he seems to have really found a spot there in Tampa. That's exciting. The world it's just blown the hell up. It's just blown the hell up.
People expect like a athlete to go from A to D in this situation, and like oh, they've always been D. But they forgot about this, like the points along the way that probably like actually got him out of his horrible play. Like you keep him in Cleveland, he's not going to be what he is in Tampa Bay. But I feel like he had to go through like the horrible year in Carolina and like the okay year in the Rams, and now it's like, okay, I got a chance for a team now. Like I feel like I'm able to contribute, but like if he was still in Cleveland, just it wasn't working out. Like he wouldn't have gotten here.
I don't know why. And listen, it's what I've found in these couple of days where my phone won't shut the hell up. Either you're somebody that's going to act like everything Baker did was great. And everything that wasn't great, this is what I'm finding out by people just screaming. Everything that wasn't great is somebody else's fault. It's Kevin Stefanski's fault. It's the Browns' fault. It's Freddie Kitchen's fault. It's anything that didn't work out for Baker Mayfield is not his fault. And everything else is all on him, and he's great. And then you've got this other group of people that's like, Baker was trash. He never did anything good in Cleveland. He got carried. None of that shit is true. None of that shit is true. Baker was good sometimes here. He was not good sometimes here. But the Browns, I want to remind everybody, the Browns had a decision to make because Baker played 4 years here. He had 2 good years and 2 not good years. And yeah, he got injured that last year, but he's the one that played through that. He's the one that wouldn't come out. 2 good years and 2 bad years. And the Browns had to decide going into his option year what the hell they're going to do at quarterback. I'm sorry, but I must have been in a different fucking time zone because I remember that nobody knew what they should do. It was Baker didn't make it clear, like, oh, they got to give him another contract. So I was like, what the hell are they going to do with Baker Mayfield? That was the prevailing thought around town. Yeah. It's what we're dealing with Jed Wills right now. What the hell are they going to do with this guy? That's how we talked about Baker. And I feel like everybody just forgot about it. We just forgot about it. He was either awesome or he sucked. Jesus Christ. Get over this dude. Get over this dude.
If Baker was the guy, if he was the guy, this is simply put, if he was the guy, he would still be here.
Oh, yes.
Period. Point blank. If he showed that he was the guy, he would still be here. The Browns wouldn't any guy who has been a consistent playmaker for this organization, they have recognized it and they have signed him. Baker Mayfield was not that. He was inconsistent at best. It was a roller coaster. If he was that guy, he would still be here.
That's a really good point. That's a
he
really
was
good point.
He was kind of like an addict. He had to hit rock bottom before the comeback happened.
Yeah,
and he figured it out. And he figured it out. And he's flourishing in Tampa Bay now. Great,
which is great.
Good for him. It wasn't that wasn't the case here.
Yeah.
That was not the case here.
That was that is such a good point, Chad. And I thought about that too. You can't honestly believe that they wanted to not have their quarterback.
Yes.
You can't honestly believe they didn't want him to succeed.
Yes.
They wanted him to succeed because now you have to go find another quarterback. And look what you did. You went and found a quarterback that had proven it in the league multiple years. And obviously, a lot of other shit that goes on there, but it didn't work. They would much rather have had that. I know, look, we keep seeing this in the comments, and Drew and Brick City, who's the quarterback that works with Stefanski? Joe Flacco worked kind of with Stefanski. He just liked to turn the ball over a lot. Jacoby Brissett worked well with Stefanski. Baker Mayfield worked well with Stefanski.
Even P.J. Walker worked well with
Stefanski.
Yeah.
I don't know. This Stefanski thing is so weird to me. Anyways,
I would love an apology for the Deshaun thing, though. Like, I would just love Andrew Berry to come out and just be like,
"Fuck,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, we messed this one up. Our bad." That'd be so nice.
Just so much respect. So much respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, like I said, the Browns traveling down to Jacksonville this week. Boys, let's do a little quick score prediction before we move on to our next segment. Browns, Jags. The Browns didn't give you a lot of excitement week 1. Do they bounce back week 2? Chad?
Reluctantly, yes. And I think the Browns win 20-17. I think they're going to win in spite of Watson. I think this defense is angry. I think they're going to punch a mediocre Jacksonville offense in the mouth. And I think Jerome Ford is going to get going. I think this offensive line is going to be motivated. And I think Deshaun might do just enough. Because and that's what it's going to be for me going forward with Deshaun. Until he proves that he turns it around, he's a different quarterback. He's going to have to do just enough. So, yeah. 20-17 Browns.
Joe?
I'm going to go 24-16. I think Jags will start out hot. They'll probably score on the opening drive. I just feel like they're a hotter team in the first half, but they do not keep leads very well. And so I feel like our defense can cause enough trouble. I think they're going to get a lot of field goals, maybe a touchdown. But I feel like this is, especially for the defense, and I don't think the defense played like a horrible game last week.
They didn't.
They didn't. They had a couple like short fields they had to deal with.
Really good.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, this is probably the game where you can get on track and really rely on that crutch of the defense. You have you don't have a great receiving core yet at Jacksonville. I mean, Brian
Thomas.
Brian Thomas.
Oh,
he looks like a
he
stud
looked great.
last week. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's not a ton of like super massive threats on that offense. I mean, Travis Etienne's pretty solid. But I feel like we'll be able to kind of slow them down a little bit. Maybe that will allow us to have a more balanced offense. But I feel okay about it.
I've decided. You guys know I'm the optimist always. I'm not picking Deshaun Watson anymore until he shows he's worth picking. The Browns are going to lose 17-2 against Jacksonville.
There you go.
Browns are going to lose 17-2. The defense is going to play well. The offense is going to all be mad because this dude is launching balls into the sideline and he's launching balls into the stands, and it looks like he's got his goddamn eyes closed every time he throws the ball. And until this dude removes his head from so far up his ass that he can see out of his mouth, then I'm not picking him anymore. I'm not picking him anymore. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of the experience. I'm tired of the stories. I'm tired of the noise. I'm tired of everything about this dude. And he's not. All the other shit he comes with, you could think at least you could have the decency for us fans to put on one goddamn decent show. To do one thing well, which is be out on the field because he's a shitbag human being. But he can't even play football anymore. I'm not picking him anymore. I love the Browns. I hope they win every game, but I'm picking him to lose 17-2.
All right.
This guy.
This was wow. This was the scorched earth I was going to go in the next 4 weeks, but yeah, you already did it. I like it.
I love it.
I'm tired of him. I
mean, and also like the play's Deshaun's fault. You know, there were down a couple of tackles on the O-line. That's tough.
Yeah.
But the Rams did fine with 3 linemen down against the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, To be fair to him, the offense as a whole was a mess on side. But who do you look to? Who do you look to when it's fucking?
Well, he's not looking. It's a problem.
He's not
the
looking.
One play that I saw on my feed, I think yesterday, was Jerry Jeudy was running a crossing route. Njoku was in the flat, and it was one that almost got picked off. And I think it was Jeudy. It was in between 2 defenders.
Yeah,
and like David Njoku was open all day, not a glance at the guy like slightly to the right of Jerry Jeudy.
Hey, you want to be a franchise? You want to be a franchise quarterback? You want to be a $230 million guy, which you already are. You want to be that? Make the people around you better. Dak Prescott did it. Dak Prescott, he had two rookies on his offensive line. He had Ezekiel motherfucking Elliott as his starting running back. And you know what Dak Prescott did? He made everybody around him better. Yeah, he made the throws when he had to make the throws. And when you're getting paid that kind of money, make the people around you better. Don't use everything as a damn excuse. Oh, my God, the line and the receivers dropped some passes. Okay, make them better.
Yeah.
Then be better. Make the plays.
Zeke was reinvigorated. Zeke looked, especially in that first half, reinvigorated. Right. Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, I know you say it's like week 1 and everybody's week 1, but this is a continuation of the few games that he has played over the last 3 years. So I think that's why everybody's freaking out about it. It's been nothing.
Make yourself better and make people better. All right, let's get off of the Browns. I hope they win. I really do hope they win.
Oh, what's your score prediction?
I said 17-2 Jaguars because
that's right. I didn't know if that was serious or not.
We're getting a safety, Joe.
I'm not picking him anymore. Until that dude puts like 4 games in a row together, I'm not picking this dude anymore.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. Let's get off of this for a minute. Let's go to our favorite breakup segment of the week, our middle of the show segment. That's our asshole of the week segment. I'm really excited for this. Asshole of the week is where we just talk about somebody who's an asshole, just a group of people or a person or just somebody that's been an asshole this week. And so, Joe, why don't you kick us off? Who's your asshole of the week this week?
Could have gone a couple ways with this. I want to start with Peacock as number one asshole example. Nobody needs anything on Peacock. It's not worth it. But every once in a while, they stream a game of football on there, and it's a whole nother service, and I can't watch it on just like the NBC channel, and that makes me really mad.
Okay, I do like they have Premier League soccer, and I watch that.
Also, I don't know if you caught the Tom Brady commercial of like him just like gassing himself up. It was like Tampa Bay Tom Brady, Patriots Tom Brady, Michigan Tom Brady. And they're like, oh, I'm on my next adventure. And there's a whole commercial about Tom Brady being on the broadcast booth. He's fine.
Shut up, Tom.
I don't think his voice is like the best for broadcast, to be honest.
I thought he was fine.
He was fine. It was fine. A lot of hype.
All right, couple assholes there. Joe's got 2 assholes. Chad, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, I guess I got two. I mean, I'm gonna preface this by saying, if it's true, stop eating fucking cats in Springfield. Second, second, the doom and gloom thing is gonna be a doom and gloom thing. Is just stop. I'm getting choked up. Stop sharing the video of Guy Gaudreau being sad. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. The guy doesn't need to be all over the internet. He doesn't. Stop fucking sharing it.
Maybe it was the family's thing, so I don't want to disrespect that. I thought a live stream of the funeral is just, it's a lot.
I mean, live streaming, I get it. Like people,
maybe that was their thing. Maybe that's what the family wanted,
but people don't need to like quote tweet it and like share it. Like don't do that. Don't do that.
That's fair. All right, I'm really excited for mine, and yours was very serious, and mine is not so serious, but I'm worked up about it. My asshole of the week is Chad Meyer. Chad Meyer's the asshole of the week.
Oh, lovely.
Chad, I'm going to tell you guys a story about Chad Meyer.
I know this.
And how
I didn't do anything that anybody else in my situation wouldn't have done.
I mean, literally, you did everything. But let me explain.
No.
So here we are. Yep,
here we go. You're going to start.
I won
a fight.
this week, so it doesn't matter.
We're going to start a fight, and here we go.
Here we are. Last night, and we're in a fantasy football league together, and Chad and I are up against each other week 1, and not a great week really for either one of us. But I go into the game last night. My whole roster is done. I have nobody playing last night, and I'm up 15 points against Chad. And Chad's entire roster is done. Chad's roster has played. The bench has played. Everybody has played except for Christian McCaffrey. So Christian McCaffrey is the only player that hasn't. I'm worked up about this. He's the only player that hasn't played.
I know you are.
And so Chad, I sent Chad a text because right before the game, it's like Christian McCaffrey's not going to play. I sent him a text. I'm like, that sucks. I said something like, fuck your fantasy football team. And so I'm sitting there and I'm the commissioner of the league, right? So this is I'm going to tell you why he's the asshole. Because he put me in a spot that I couldn't do anything that I would have ordinarily done. I'm the commissioner of the league. So all of a sudden I see moves getting made off Chad's team. And yes, this is a Yahoo fantasy problem, but also I'm going to explain why that still doesn't matter. Chad starts making moves. And Chad who'd you drop? Luke McCaffrey?
Oh, well,
Chad answer the question.
Answer the question. Listen, I'm answering it if you give me a fucking second. I actually dropped Jonathan Brooks off of IR.
Okay.
And then I tried to put Christian McCaffrey on IR, which it wouldn't
do because he's not on IR.
Which it wouldn't let me because it said NA,
Correct.
Right? Whatever. And then I went to look for someone else, right? And then I found Alan Lazard. I was like, okay. I mean, he seems like a guy who would play because I'm sitting there because I shouldn't have to not at least try to put someone on my team to try to make a win. I shouldn't have to accept a loss.
You should.
Just because.
You should.
No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't.
So here's what happens.
I shouldn't have to accept the loss. No.
This is my asshole of the week.
No.
This is my asshole of the week.
No.
Here's what Chad does. Chad drops Luke McCaffrey, who scores 4 points on the bench, but he already played. Luke's done. Luke's done for the week. His point total is entered and done.
Sure.
Chad drops him, which Yahoo shouldn't let you do, but he does it anyways. And he adds Alan Lazard, and then he puts Alan Lazard in the starting lineup. So effectively what Chad did was took a guy who scored points off the bench and then inserted him into his starting lineup, which is exactly what that is. And so here's where you're an asshole. I told you the league rule. I told you. I said, Chad, you can't do that. And you said, yeah, I can. And I'm like, fuck you. It's my league. It's my league. You cannot do that. I would not let anybody else do that. And I told you this in text message last night. I told you this. I said, Chad, if you were doing this against any other person in this league, I would have immediately vetoed it. I would immediately have vetoed it, and I would have put your other guy back because you can't replace a player that's already played. You can't. And you said, well, I shouldn't have to just take a loss, which is so dumb because what if Christian McCaffrey got hurt on the first play? Should you still have to take the loss? Yes, you should. He was in your starting lineup. You had him in your starting lineup, and then he got ruled out. And that sucks for you. But that's the way it goes. You can't replace a player who's already played.
Yeah. Okay. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So we're playing for money, and I shouldn't have to be able to make changes to my lineup because I'm trying to win a football game. Because I'm trying to win a football game. No. That's bullshit. Because I would expect you, I would expect Joey, I would expect anybody else in the league to do that, to try to make moves. So don't try to put this thing on me just because a glitch in your league happened. I just did what anybody else would have done.
Here's why you're
put it in the league. So stop trying to make me out to be like an asshole.
You are the asshole
because of your problem.
Here's why you're the
problem.
Here's why you're the asshole.
It allowed me to do it. It allowed me to do it. So I'm taking it in.
Shut up.
Stop.
Here's why you're the asshole. Because I told you the league rule. I informed you before you did that of the league rule. You ignored the league rule. And then you forced me. So here's what you
No. You did not inform me of that. You told me that after I made the move. Stop trying to make it out to be something that it wasn't. Stop.
I told you before you played Alan Lazard, I told you. And here's why you're the asshole. Again, as the commissioner, if I go to you and say, if I went in and rechange that, I'm doing that. And then it's like to the benefit of my team. I would have done it against anybody else, literally anybody else. So here's what you got, Chad. And I hope you're happy for your fantasy football win. I hope you feel special about it. You got to do something that literally nobody else in the league is going to be allowed to do. You're the one person that got to do something.
Change it then. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. Change it then, Mike. I don't give a shit.
It's assholery. It's assholery.
Change it then.
It's
change it. Yeah. This is a you and this is a Yahoo problem. This is not a me problem.
Yes, it is. I told you, and you did it anyways. And then you
told me that after I made the move, Mike.
It doesn't matter.
You told me that after I made the move.
No, I told you.
I expect anybody else in the league to try to actually put someone in who's going to play that night to try to win the game because there's money on the line. If this was a free league, I wouldn't have given a fuck.
I told you can't do it.
You told me that after I made the move. Stop pretending like you informed me of something before I made the move. I made the move.
You think it's okay to just take a bench player and put him into the starting lineup, even though your bench player has already played, is outrageous. So
I would have done. I would have, if I had the ability to do that, I would have done it too.
Of course you would have.
Hello.
You know what else you would have done? When I said don't before the game started. When I said you can't do that before the game started. When I said you can't do that, you would have said, all right, Jed, that makes sense.
That's a good text to just ignore.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
Yeah, I would.
No, I didn't ignore it because we had a lot of back and forth about it.
Listen, you get the special Chad win. It's fine. Nobody else is going to
reverse it. If you're just going to bitch about this all day, just reverse it. I don't care.
No,
just reverse it. Just reverse it. I don't give a shit.
No, you get the special move. You get the special move. I'll take the loss, and I hope you enjoyed it. Next time, just maybe listen to me when I tell you the rule of my own league. Maybe listen to me. All right. That was fun.
What a great week for me to win by 50.
Good job, Joe. Good job, Joey.
That was nice. That was good of you, Joe.
Good job, Joey.
All right, let's talk about some quick hitters. And I want to go into the NFL a little bit. I want to go into college football a little bit. Was wild. So I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about the Guardians before we get out of here. But other big stories, guys, elsewhere in the NFL. What else stood out? Did you see? I think my favorite story. Did you see Daniel Jones leaving the Giants game when they got absolutely ass pounded by the Vikings? Yeah. Did you see the fans outside chanting Danny Pennies at him?
Oh, I didn't see the Danny Pennies.
Oh my God. It was like 1,000 Giants fans just standing there chanting Danny Pennies as he was walking to his car.
Ouch.
It's a tough go. Go. The Giants, rough. I'm excited to see them on the schedule because they might be the worst team in football.
I thought the Lions might be the most fun team to watch in the NFL right now.
Fair.
That's always that game against the Rams was so good. I mean, just it's exciting. It's back and forth. Like you don't see like those crazy mistakes like we do in the Cleveland games, which is nice. But I think that might be my most enjoyable team to watch. I have no stake in fandom, and I don't want to be a Lions fan, but I like watching their games.
What else? What'd you notice, Chad, on week 1 of the NFL?
Cincinnati.
Oh, I
Cincinnati
know.
is
Oh, I know.
deep shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
deep shit. Like, remember when 3 years ago everybody thought Joe Burrow was the next coming of like second coming of Tom Brady or fucking? I mean, I don't even Tom Brady, but the next second coming of one of the elite quarterbacks. That is not happening. It is bad times in Cincinnati. New England is in a full on rebuild, and they did nothing. Even with Jamar Chase playing, like they did nothing at all.
Oh.
And yeah, it's bad. It's bad times down there in Bungle country.
Yeah, they're in bad shape.
The Tennessee game was wild.
Dude, I think I was going to bring up the AFC South. I think the AFC South is a gauntlet. I don't think it's on the same level as like the AFC North. Houston's good. Tennessee's just going to be tough. They're not good, but they're going to be kind of tough.
But the way they lost that game was
Indianapolis is going to be tough. That's a little bit of a gauntlet. It's like AFC North Junior.
Yeah. Much more, I feel like, offense focused than the North is. But the way that Tennessee lost that game against the Bears, I stopped watching after they're up 10 or 17-0. I was like, well, this seems like an easy chalk up win. Didn't expect for the Bears to come back without a single touchdown, or like, what was the Caleb Williams passed for like 146 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
Got the dub. That was crazy.
Good for him. That's good for him. The Bears fans are pumped.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Bears fans are pumped.
Let's go. Come on.
And the 49ers are good, and the Jets aren't going to be good. The Jets aren't good. They're going to win some games. They'll probably win more than they did last year, but the Jets,
it's a mess. It's a mess.
Aaron Rodgers is and the funny thing is they haven't seen a quarterback like that in forever, and he's still like, it's a shell of himself, which is just hilarious. So
yeah, still a massive upgrade, but
it's a shell. It's a shell. All right. Quick hitter over to the college football world, which was
Yeah.
Whoa.
God, I love college so much more than pro.
Oh, I don't. Let's start though with our Ohio State Buckeyes, who again they played nobody, and they beat nobody. They beat up Western Michigan, but they did look. I will say they looked better in this game. Like they looked like they are coming together a little bit more. I do think with the way Ohio State is structured, right? You got all these guys coming in on the portal. It's kind of almost like an NFL season where you got to like get together. Like you got to.
Yeah.
This isn't guys that have played together 3 or 4 years. This is a first-year quarterback in the system. This is a first-year prime running back. This is a brand new freshman wide receiver who is outstanding.
Yeah, he's a stud, an absolute stud.
The Buckeyes, man. I think I know people. I hate the soft schedule, but Paul Keels told us on the show it's not their choice. They were supposed to play Washington this year. They were supposed to play Southern Miss, and I know Southern Miss isn't like a juggernaut, but they're probably better than Marshall. They were supposed to have a tougher schedule, and the conference realignment happened. I think for them for this season, because you're never going to care at the end. I think it's almost a blessing that these guys get a chance to like come together. It's almost like 3 preseason games that other teams don't get.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and this is kind of what they've been missing in the past, right? It's been new personnel these last couple of years, and they haven't really had a chance to like you said, come together. But these first 3 games they're gonna have every opportunity, right? I mean, in this Western Michigan game, they got they looked more physical. They got a nice push up front. I mean, and like I said, you mentioned earlier, Jeremiah Smith is just
unbelievable.
He's an 18-year-old man. Like he's not a kid that just came out of high school.
Sir.
Yeah, he's an 18-year-old man. So I mean, I expect nothing but the same against Marshall. So yeah, it's been I was way more encouraged. And you know what's funny to say is like you had a little bit of concern after the Akron game and they won 52-6. So like
right.
Yeah, so and then Western Michigan they beat 56-0. So they did what they were supposed to do, but it was a way better 56-0 win.
Yeah.
Than a 52-6 one.
a couple of my favorite storylines. Obviously, my favorite storyline of the week: Northern Illinois goes
100%.
into Notre Dame. They kick a field goal late, and then they block. Well, Notre Dame was trying to kick like a 1,000-yard field goal, but Northern Illinois blocks it. I love how a lot of these big up. It reminds me of the Appalachian State Michigan game.
Right.
They end on block kicks. Northern Illinois blocks a kick, and the Northern Illinois Huskies go in and beat fifth-ranked Notre Dame. The only thing about me that hated it was Notre Dame beat my goddamn team on the road at my stadium. Notre Dame beat A&M the week before, and here comes Northern Illinois like, yeah, fuck off. We're going to win.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But no, seriously.
Ipso facto, Northern Illinois could beat A&M. No.
What a great story. And listen, man, you go to I went to a MAC school, and when your team in a MAC school makes a run on a team like that, you remember it forever. I remember Bowling Green beating the shit out of Drew Brees and Purdue when I was there. I remember them beating Michigan State when Michigan State, you remember those forever. So I think it's just really cool for the students and the fans in Northern Illinois too.
Hey, I was at the Motor City Bowl when BG beat Northwestern.
I was at that game too, bro. Cole Magner went off.
Let's go.
Come on. The Alaskan Assassin.
Yeah.
Do you know he also played on the basketball team that year?
Yeah, I know.
That's wild.
Yeah. Multi-sport athlete. What a champ.
A couple other
With
highlights.
his flowing blonde locks.
Oh, he was so handsome. A couple other highlights. Texas might be the best team in the country.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
And I don't think Michigan's all that good.
No.
I really don't. Again, Ryan Day has to beat him, so there's that.
They've got a fresh new offensive line, and they've got quarterback problems again.
Oh boy, did Texas go up there and just hand it to them. Yeah. And I hate that, but boy, my two arch nemesis just going up against each other. But they were terrible. And then my favorite outcome of the weekend was Nebraska just housing Colorado.
Oh yeah.
I hate Colorado.
Me too. I
don't hate the players. I don't hate the players. Some of their players are so fun to watch. Travis Howard, so good.
I think I saw
Travis
something
Hunter,
where Dion was asking the band to not play the fight song when
he said that was a lie. He said that was a lie.
I was like, okay.
I'm going to believe him on that. I'm not going to buy into everything. Dion does this thing, man. And I know it's how he's always been in his life, but he's always been able to back it up. Dion walks like his shit doesn't stink. And now he can't back it up.
Yeah.
So when he's out here making all this noise about Colorado, they stink. They're so bad.
And I think he doesn't know. And I think he doesn't know any other way because his entire existence in football has been nothing but backing it up. And this is the first time in his entire existence in football that his talk doesn't walk. It's ugly. It is ugly in Boulder. I mean, it's better than what it was, but it is still going to be ugly in Boulder. I would be shocked if they come away with more than 4 or 5 wins this year.
Yeah,
so is that situation where NIL is not going well?
Oh no. And the thing for me though, the thing for me with Colorado, it'll always go back to that first time Dion met the team when he got hired. You guys remember that video?
Yep.
When he walked into the team meeting and said, most of you guys aren't going to even be here next year because I'm bringing my own guys in. Well, you brought your own guys, Dion, and they suck. They suck a bunch.
They suck.
Suck a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And those poor kids, there were so many interviews with those kids that had to transfer out of there because Dion was like, I'm bringing my guys. It was just a really shitty thing to do to guys that had earned their scholarships at Colorado. And I get wanting to bring some of your guys, but for that to be your message,
for sure,
you show up there, that right there tanked the Colorado program. That day, even though they weren't great before he got there, that day tanked his opportunity there.
Yeah, for sure.
What else? Maybe Tennessee. A lot of people were picking NC State to beat Tennessee, and Tennessee routed them. Tennessee might be really good too.
NC State kept it close for the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. So I got that going for you.
Pregame was close.
Is that where Kyle McCord is now? NC State?
No, he's at Syracuse, and they won a big game. He balled out. He looked great.
No.
Good again. A quarterback that was at one of our teams that has gone somewhere else and is playing well. Good for him.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
yeah.
for him.
It was the perfect spot for him. No pressure, no expectations. Like it was
for
the
him.
perfect spot for Kyle McCord.
Good for
No,
him.
the
That's
quarterback for
another
NC
game.
State. The quarterback for NC State is like 9th year Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall.
Yes, he has been there. He's been there a minute.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's been
He's
there
the Van
one-
Wilder of college football.
Yeah,
He's
ran
been
it
there-
back a couple times.
1 to 10 minutes. He
Yeah.
has been there. 1 to 10. All right, boys. So anything else that happened in college football we want to talk about before we get to our last segment?
Let's see. Oh man, I tell you what, a lot of teams that thought they were better than they are not. Like Oregon. Look at Oregon and Boise State. Like,
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. This comment from Zook Zuchengo. I used Colorado for my NCAA league back in the day, and Tim Fugger was a legend.
Let's go.
Let's go, Fugger. Fugger for those of you listening. Tim
Right,
Fugger.
right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, like I mean, Oregon, the first 2 weeks has sputtered with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback. It's not been good. They've been able to overcome it with their defense and they've like picked it up in second halves of football games. But no, they've not looked good over the first 2 games. Oklahoma almost lost to an FCS team this last week. Oklahoma State. Well, I mean it's Arkansas, but Arkansas is like at the bottom of the SEC. But yeah, it's a lot of teams are not as good as people think they are, and it's going to be interesting. I just that's what I love about college football so much. I hope it's chaotic throughout the entire season like this last week too was.
How many 2-loss teams do you think are going to make it in the top 12?
A couple. I probably maybe 2.
Yeah,
Me too.
Notre
Maybe
Dame.
maybe.
Yeah.
No, somebody, one of my buddies, actually Derek, who was in here, Derek DeWolf, that was in here before, called me, one of my buddies, and he was talking about Oregon. I said, just be careful jumping on the Oregon like sucks bandwagon, because I will always take that 2002 Ohio State team with our buddy Mo Hall.
Sure.
I will always take that team and use them as an example. Remember, that team almost lost to everybody.
Sure.
That team almost lost to Cincinnati, Illinois, Purdue.
Sure.
Their team almost lost to everybody, and they just barely beat everybody, and they went on and won the national title. So, like, I know Oregon struggled with a couple teams that they should have crushed early in the year, but, like, doesn't mean anything. If they win their games, they win their games.
Yeah, 100%. And in the end, that's all that matters, like that 2002 Ohio State team. But so far through the first 2 weeks, they don't look as elite as everybody thought they were.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our last segment before I do our cheers of the week. And boys, I'm so excited for this because we're finally at this point. We do so many of these like short season. We just got done with like the playoffs with NBA and NHL.
Yeah.
And now we're into this short season, right? Of there's only so many games in football, so every game matters so much. And we're coming to the end of just this brutally long stretch of games that's called the MLB baseball season. But we're officially, boys, we're officially in magic number season. We're officially in Guardians magic number season. So coming into the game tonight, which they are about to win, they're up 5-0.
They might
in
do
the bottom
it
of the ninth.
right about now.
But coming into this game, the magic number for them to
Holy
clinch.
smokes! What a way to end that game. Sorry, just a rip shot to Jose Ramirez, and he fell down. He's good.
All
Sorry,
right, but it's over.
He fell down and go boom, but he got up.
Fall down, go boom.
he got up. He's good.
The Guardians' magic number to clinch a playoff spot coming into tonight was 9. The Guardians' magic number to clinch the division coming into tonight was 18. Now, I will say, I think just about everybody meaningful behind them won tonight. The Royals won, the Twins won, the Tigers won. A lot of teams won tonight when it comes to both the wild card and the division. But the magic number goes down. If it was 18, now it's 17. If it was 9, now it's 8. The Cleveland Guardians with like less than 20 games left are this close to wrapping up the playoff berth. And I got to say, boys, what they have done since kind of last we talked, if you remember, we went through that series with the Royals where the Royals tied the Guardians for the top of the division. And then the Guardians won that last game of that series to give them a little buffer. Since then, and they've lost. They lost the series out in LA, but they went out and won a series in Kansas City. They won a game in LA, which was just nice to see them not go out there and get dominated. And now 2 out of 3 against Chicago, and hopefully 3 out of 3 tomorrow. What they've done since the Royals tied them atop the division standing is incredible. And these boys are marching towards the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they sure are. How about Kyle Manzardo since getting called back up? That's what we were expecting from him. He's been looking really good.
That's a good theme, Joey. That's a good theme because right now the way the Guardians are playing is, we're starting to get what we expected. How about Lane Thomas when you traded for him?
Yeah.
He was the worst for like a month.
Yeah.
He had 3-run homer tonight.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, homers are flying off his bat, and he's getting on base a little bit more. He's been good for weeks now, like several weeks. Some of these guys are coming around.
And I said it last week, but Tyler Boyd and I didn't think of Gavin Sheets as a first name.
That ain't it. That's not it.
Oh, my God. What's the other guy?
The guy they got from Alex
Cobb?
Alex
Cobb. Gee,
Holy
I don't know
shit,
why
guys. Are you drunk?
I was no.
little-
I was just stuck on Gavin Sheets. I couldn't get those words out of my head.
This beer just filled back up. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
How strange.
Weird.
But they have been just absolutely instrumental in this rotation. Yeah, Ben Lively go down tonight, taking a wicked liner off the thigh.
He should be all right.
He should be all right. That's gonna bruise pretty bad. But the rotation's locking in. That I can't remember the last time they gave up more than 4 runs. So they're getting hot at the right time. Still got a couple good series coming up. You got the Rays, which might be all right. We got the Twins next week.
That's a huge series. That's it. You could just end the Twins.
You send the Twins right there.
Only
bottom
one
line,
more road series. Only one more road series.
The bottom line is that Twin series obviously is the most important. You gotta walk away with a split of that series. And I know you want more. You want to go in and just destroy them, but you walk away with a split of that series. The Cardinals aren't great. The Rays are okay. The Reds are not good at all. And you do finish what you want to do. Here's what you want to do. You want to make sure if you're going to win the division, that shit has to be wrapped up by the time you get to 3 games against the Astros at the end of the year. That
winning that division this year is huge because you're going to get the first round bye, or you bypass the wild card.
Right.
Correct.
Right. So that should be hopefully on top of everyone's mind there. And I agree. If we can wrap that up before the Astros series, that would be best case scenario.
It's for all the ups and downs, and for as great as the beginning of the year was, then we went through that lull in the middle of the season where they were just a 500 ball club. Now here you are, and you're still sitting there with the second best record in the American League.
Yeah.
For all the hype around the New York Yankees, you're tied. It's not the second best record. You are tied with the Yankees right now as the best record in the American League. Right. For all the hype around the Baltimore Orioles, you got a better record than they do. For all the hype around some of these other teams, you've got the Cleveland Guardians have the 3rd best record in all of baseball right now.
Right.
There's only the Phillies and the Dodgers have a better record, barely, and they are basically tied with Milwaukee and New York.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable what they've done. And all they got to do is close out this season. That's all they got to do.
I think they got enough to hang in there in the postseason too. I mean, the pitching depth is just phenomenal. You had who just went? Was it Sam Henches that just had the shoulder surgery?
Yeah,
right.
That's tough.
But listen. But here's the thing, and here's what makes it's got to get you excited about the Guardians. They got to get hot. But we talked about it from the beginning. Tom Hamilton told us this. Jim Rosenhaus told us this. What wins in the playoffs are home runs and pitching.
Yep.
Pitching, you just hope it stays kind of right where it's at. You got the bullpen is unbelievable, and your closers should win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the best closer seasons of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it can be understated. Look at the power bats that are Jose and Josh Naylor, and you kind of expected that coming in. I don't think it can be overstated the presence that John Kenzie Noel brings to the lineup.
Yeah.
100% agreed. 100%.
He is your X factor for the playoffs. He is your playoffs X factor. If he gets hot in the playoffs, he changes games with one swing.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I mean, even if right, he doesn't hit any home runs, the fact that he's a threat to do that every time he steps up to the plate just changes things. I mean, he's a presence that this Guardians teams haven't had the last couple of years. So yeah, and the fact that I don't know, the fact that this team showed the resiliency that they have this year after that long slump that they had, and they've picked themselves up off the ground and are starting to play well again is good. They've got 18 more games to get even hotter, and they're playing well right now. So yeah. Going into, I love where this team is at right now, and that's why I'm starting to get excited. Right, I can't get excited at game 75. I just can't. I can be happy with the way they're playing, but game 142, game 144, let's go. That's what they're doing right now. Let's fucking go, boys.
So again, after tonight, their magic number for the division drops to 17. Their magic number for the playoffs drops to 8. And at this time next year, this time next week, when we're on next week, we could be talking about them having clinched a playoff spot, because again, I love the way the magic number works. Your team might lose, but if the other team loses, magic number down, baby.
Goes down.
Man, we're paying attention to that. If you don't follow, no free ads, but if you don't follow Guardians Magic Number on Twitter, it's one of the best accounts, because every game it just posts what the magic number is, and it started all the way back at game 1. I love it. But
this is just 162.
Yep. But we're there, boys. We're there at the final stretch run, and it's time to show up and show out for the Guardians, just the way we do for all of our other teams. It's time to show up and show out. A lot of home games left, so let's make Progressive Field just a terrible place for other teams to play. All right, last segment of the week as we wrap up this show, which was just an incredible show, episode 229, off the rails, just a good time. It's time for us to do our final segment of the week, which is our 3 cheers of the week. Our 3 cheers of the week just goes out to somebody we want to salute. Somebody that just deserves a little respect this week. So I'm going to start on this one because I went last time. And I love my cheer this week too. I made a post about him. Everybody thinks I hate him. My cheer goes to Baker Mayfield. I don't want him on the Browns. I don't care that he's not on the Browns, but I salute, you talked about resiliency, Chad. I salute his resiliency. I salute his ability to go through what he went through. He had to grow the fuck up, and he did. And he grew up, and he made it through. We were talking, there was a point there a couple of years ago that we thought he was about to be a college football analyst on TV, or he was going to be a Canadian football quarterback. Yeah. And he fought through, and he battled, and he grew up. And that was the most important thing. And now the dude, week 1, we've seen Baker put up a lot of 1-game shots here or there, but after a good season last year in Tampa, he balled out week 1. And I just think he deserves a little respect. So shout out to Baker Mayfield.
Go listen to his most recent Pardon My Take interview. For anybody who wants to know, how he feels about his tenure, his career, go listen to his most recent Pardon My Take interview. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that was mine. Chad, go ahead.
I have 2 cheers. First is going to be to the Lake County Captains. Playoffs start in the Midwest League.
Bazana, baby.
The day after tomorrow.
They're
in the playoffs. This is a team that's led the division, that has led the league the entire season. Travis Bazana and company, go boys, let's go. Pack the park night on Thursday. So let's go, boys. Travis Bazana. Second cheers goes to my fantasy team. Way to pull out the win today, boys. Way to pull out the win this week. What a move. What a genius move by the GM of the team. And 1-0. Let's start off to a good start. Off to a really good start.
The Chad rule. Chad gets one thing that nobody else gets. Shout out to Chad. Joe, what's your cheer of the week?
My friends, man, we had a great. Sorry I didn't see you when I was up there. Had a great weekend in Cleveland though this past week. Apologies.
It's fine. I get it.
We did a little Cedar Point Day on Saturday. My voice is still wrecked. I was like, we rode every ride in the park, and I was trying to find new ways to express myself from screaming because just like the general scream was not cutting it anymore. I hate roller coasters, but I rode them all. And my voice has been just like absolutely wrecked. We do a little Valley Air golfing in Hinckley. Have you guys been there before?
Wow. Yeah.
No.
Nice course.
Beautiful course. Yeah. Definitely worth checking out. But yeah, just had a good weekend for the guys. Get a little getaway.
Boys weekend. Shout
Boys
out to
weekend.
Boys Weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. This was a great episode, guys. Episode 229 in the books. Our last cheer of the week. Well, actually, let's do one more collective cheer, and then we'll do our last cheer of the week. But our friends down at the CBJ Artillery podcast, they started a fundraiser. We don't want to harp on this too much because it's just brutal. It just keeps getting more brutal. But obviously, the tragedy with Johnny Gaudreau, his brother Matthew, we're talking about. We found out at the funeral that Johnny's wife was pregnant with their third child. She announced that at the funeral. Again, just another devastating thing. We know
Matthew's with their first.
Yeah, we know Matthew's wife is pregnant with their first. Listen, as a family, they're doing it right. Obviously, Johnny there to help his family. But Matthew wasn't an NHL player. Matthew wasn't making huge contracts. Matthew was trying to make it as a coach. And he leaves behind a wife and an unborn kid. And I just want to give a shout out to our friends down at the CBJ Artillery. If you don't follow them, go follow them for Blue Jacket stuff. They're really good friends of ours, and they do really good things. And they raised, I want to say they raised what, like $92,000
Wow.
for Matthew Gaudreau's wife. And it's just a straight donation to her for just to help raise the kid and all that. So I want to give them a shout out. That's really cool that they put that together, and really cool of anybody that donated to that as well. So that's awesome. All right. So that's going to do it for episode number 229 here of the Garage Beers podcast. Last thing we're going to do are our thank yous. First of all, Chef Zae, our guest tonight, just one of the most entertaining follows. He's a content creator, and he's that in the best sense of it. He really puts all the work in. He really puts a lot of stuff out, and his game day recap videos are the best. I never miss them. They are the best because he usually says exactly what you want to say in those games. So shout out to Chef Zae for coming on and hanging out with us, and hopefully he has a good time down in Jacksonville. Our next thank you goes out to the OBR, the Orange and Brown Report. Make sure you get over to the OBR.com and subscribe, and hit subscribe on the YouTube or the Twitch channel or on Twitter, wherever you're watching us. Make sure you're following along with the OBR for all the best Browns content. And our biggest and our last thank you goes out to you. A lot of you joined us here tonight. A lot of you were on here with us. One of our bigger crowds that we've had in a while. So shout out to you guys for jumping on with us. And if you're not here live with us, but you're going to watch us later, you're going to listen to us on Apple or Spotify or whatever, just do us a favor and just hit the buttons. You guys know the buttons. You know the buttons. Hit the buttons. Subscribe, like, comment, share. I hate saying it, but all that stuff really does help us out. And we love doing this for you guys. So the more people that get in here, the better. So make sure you tell all your friends about it as well. That's going to do it for episode 229 of Garage Beers. For Chad over on the east side of Cleveland, for Joey down in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Michael Keefe. Go follow the show at The Garage Beers on all the socials, and we will see you next week for episode 230. Until then, cheers, everybody.